All right, good morning, everybody. Can you hear us?
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
7:34. Call the meeting to order. Amanda, roll call, please.
Mr. Gertz.
Here.
Mr. Kyle Miller.
Here.
Mr. Steve Miller.
Here.
Mr. Mullet.
Here.
Mrs. Klink.
Here. Like always, we operate on our consent agenda, and I see there is guests from Highland. I think I saw
Yes.
some music kids.
Yep. Yep.
With Mr. Looney and Mrs. Penfound.
Yep.
Okay. So we look forward to hearing from them.
During the student check.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we just needed an approval for minutes.
Make that motion. Second.
Amanda?
Mr. Steve Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Gertz.
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller.
Yes.
Mullet.
Yes.
Mrs. Klink.
Yes. And just recommend the board approve the agenda for the March 16th regular meeting.
I'll make that motion. A second.
Oh, man.
Mr. Mullet.
Yes.
Mr. Gertz.
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Steve Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Klink.
Yes.
All right, very good. For the superintendent's report today, have 4 WKLM students of the week. First is Sam Anderson, Chase Weaver, Gabby Schleball, and Madison Straits. So congratulations to those 4 students. I'll get them in a second. Today for March is Fine Arts Month this month, and to do just a little presentation from our choir and band programs at Highland. Mr. Sprang is with Mr. Looney and Mrs. Penfound, so I will turn it over to them.
Morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having us this morning to present for music in our schools month. The ensemble that you see in front of me is a small women's ensemble from Varsity Singer. Currently, right now, we are preparing for our local solo and ensemble event on April 20th here in the auditorium. So this is one of the small ensembles that will perform for that event, and also will perform tonight at our winter choral concert at Walnut Creek Mennonite Church. The piece that you're about to hear is called "And Nature Smile" by Alan.
Hey, Mr. Looney, can you try to? Hey, Mr. Looney, can you try to speak up a little louder?
Oh, sure. Is that better?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're back. So I'll go ahead and give a quick recap of what I just said. Thank you so much for having us this morning for music in our month. We're really honored to be here. The ensemble that you see beside me is a small women's ensemble from Varsity Singer. Currently, we are preparing for our local choral department solo and ensemble event on Tuesday, April 20th, and this ensemble will perform for that event, and they'll also perform tonight at our high school choral concert at Walnut Creek Mennonite Church. Just quickly to introduce the students that you see up here on the stage. Farthest to my left is Lainey Miller, who's a junior. We have London Yoder, who is a junior. Brenna Moan, who is also a junior. Brooke Pringle is also a junior. They're all juniors, and I keep saying junior. And we have Maddie Time, who is also a junior. And the piece that you're going to hear is "And Nature Smiled" by Alan. Thank you very much again for having us to perform this morning. And now I will turn it over to Mrs. Penfound and the band program.
Thank you so much for having us this morning and for honoring our music program this month. Here we have a small ensemble that actually performed at our solo ensemble event from last night. And they don't know this yet, but they actually received a superior rating on their ensemble, which is great. We have Maya Koblenz on flute, Emma Koblenz on flute, and then Michael Coons on trumpet. They're all juniors. And they're going to be playing Dance by Pavlovsky.
Thank you, Mr. Looney and Mrs. Penfound and your students. We appreciate your presentations.
Yeah, great job, students. Keep up the good work. All right, we'll go through our kind of normal building and supervisor reports here. Mr. Blocklinger, you're up first. Hey, Mr. Blocklinger, can you unmute? Hey, Mr. Blocklinger, your sound is not coming through on our end. So, Mr. Haven, you're next on the screen. Can you try just to make sure, see if the sound is?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Why don't you go ahead and then, hey, Mr. Blocklinger, why don't you restart your computer again and then I'll let you back in. Go ahead, Mr. Haven.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be able to go first finally. Three things I want to share about Walnut Creek and Winesburg. Number one is I'm not exact on the calculation, but I'm pretty sure we're just down to about 46 days of school remaining in the year. For a lot of people, you count down like you can't wait to get to that day. But for us, we feel a sense of urgency through a COVID year. We have a lot of things, a lot of memory-making activities we want to finish up the year on. So we're counting those days down, looking. We got a lot of stuff we want to do before those days come in May. Number two, we are starting our Cambrium testing in April. And once again, you know, our philosophy at both schools is this is an opportunity, not an obligation. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for us to show what we know. We're going to do it. We're going to get it done and move through that. And then thirdly, I've mentioned this to the admin team before. I like to give a shout out to both building secretaries, Barb Boyles here at Walnut Creek and Monica Yoder at Winesburg. I always heard the quote, availability is just like ability. They're there every day. They have not missed a day of school yet this year, along with a handful of other teachers. And not only do they not miss, they bring great attitudes to the buildings, are great listeners, and they demonstrate kindness to everyone in the building. So they're great models for our teachers, great models for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Haven. Ms. Calso.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So for special services, we are wrapping up the end of the year with IEP meetings, ETR meetings, finishing up the alternate assessments, and just getting ready for spring break very soon. But something else that's happening with our department is that we will be doing what's called the Ohio Longitudinal Transition Study. This is one indicator that was flagged on our special education profile, and it was not flagged because we missed doing something in the past, but it is a new task that we have been randomly chosen to do for the state. And so we will be interviewing students as they graduate this year and finding out what their goals are and where they would like to head after high school. And then we will have the additional responsibility to reach out to them a year from now and interview them again to see if they've been able to meet their goals and continue on the path that they had set forward through transition services here and through their own personal work once they leave high school. So that'll be a new project for us. Special education did have grant funds this year that were available to us, and we just recently were able to acquire some iPads that are being used for voice output communication devices as well as assessment tools by our multiple disabilities staff. So we look forward to learning how to use those more and better and assist our students. And I know that a few of the students are really doing very well with using those as verbal output devices. So excited to have those in the district. And then our last activity that I'm working on right now is track and field day. We typically have track and field day with Holmes County Training Center and West Holmes. This year, in light of the pandemic and all of the restrictions or guidelines, we felt it was best that we all sort of split and do our own thing. So we are going to have a track and field day here just for our East Holmes students. and that will be happening the end of May. So more information as that comes along.
All right, thank you. Mr. Blockman, let's try again. I'm not sure what's going on there for you, but it is not working.
Anything yet?
Oh, no, there we go. We got you.
All right. I did some fool. I'm using a different computer. Sorry about that.
No worries.
It's good to see all of you today. We've been doing all year, we do math facts study, and last Friday was the culmination. So we had, as safe as possible, banana split party for grade levels. And so the kids enjoyed doing that. Lighthouse team has been working the students on virtual leadership day. So that's going to be coming up in May. Mrs. Saurenheimer is the coordinating teacher for that. And so I'm excited to see all the great things the students are planning. End of the 9-week grading period is coming up this Friday. And so we're wrapping things up. Teachers and students are working hard as we wrap things up and head into spring break. And then this month is a great month to have Sharpen the Saw. That's habit number 7. And so we're doing lots of sharpening the mind, body, heart, and soul to fit with habit number 7. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Mr. Travis.
Good morning, everybody. As Mr. Haven said, with the number of days that we have remaining, it's hard to believe that spring break's coming up, and then we have about a week of school left before we do start the Cambium tests. The first round for us, the paper test, April 6th and 7th. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's hard to believe how fast the year's gone, especially when some school districts are just now getting back in person. So we're glad to be where we're at. For Leader and me, in the Valley, we're currently working on introducing habit 4, which is think win-win. I had a short piece in the newsletter for parents and read a story to classes and did my first screencastify so they could watch it whenever they had a chance to watch. And that's along with all the classroom teachers doing activities in the classrooms as well to go along with habit 4. In the Valley, we had an advisory board meeting on Monday, March 1st, had 4 of our 6 members there. Mr. Bune was there, appreciate his time, and had a good discussion and a good way to stay connected with the advisory board. So appreciate all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Travis. Mr. Wilson.
Good morning. Just a couple things here this morning. So district-wide, the OELPA testing, this would be for our English learner students, is nearly complete. We just have a few more of those to submit, which is great. The AASCD tests are near completion as well. We have just a few students at the training center that have a couple sections to finish up on with that. So that is great as well. We're in the midst of a desk audit for our federal funds. So just working to ensure that we have all the necessary documentation that ODE may request there. Summer instruction planning is moving forward. A couple weeks ago, a survey went out to the parents just to try to get a little bit of feedback on their thoughts of a summer school type format. It was very informative. And so we are making a few changes as a result of that. SO2, we continue working our way through planning for those funds. And lastly, science renewal for grades K to 8, or 3 to 8 rather, sorry, is on target here for renewal by the end of this school year.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Luneborg.
Good morning, everybody. It's a great Tuesday morning. Just some things here at Mount Hope and Chestnut Ridge to kind of review. I know it's been mentioned by other principals, but we are working on preparing for the Cambium test in April. We have some teachers just kind of reviewing some of the past year's questions so students kind of know what to expect and how the tests are set up. Just kind of helps them and relieve some of that anxiety when they do get those tests in front of them. Nehemiah has been taking place and it's going really well. We've actually had students coming up excited about Nehemiah. But what is really nice is they do get some of our mothers to help them out. So I've been able to speak to some of those parents as they're coming in and walking the students here at Mount Hope to our next door facility and loading them on the bus at Chestnut Ridge. So going very well there. It's kind of nice with the weather we've had outside. The kids are now bringing in their softball bats and gloves and getting ready for the softball games coming up. But it's just nice to get outside on those fields and the kids even though it was cold yesterday, we're outside playing softball. So they can handle the weather a lot better than some of us older people. So for Leader and Me, we are in habit 5 of this month, which is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Made my trips around the classrooms yesterday, handing out certificates for students that have been voted by their classmates in their room to meet that habit, but also reviewing the previous habits and discussing that one in our next month. So kind of take about 15 minutes in each classroom to review some of the things going on with Leader and Me. And the teachers are doing a great job working through the leadership guides, starting to hear some of the language from the students on some of those habits and what they're doing in the building. And then finally, just had a really good meetings with our Chestnut Ridge and Mount Hope advisory boards. Do want to thank Mr. Bune. He's not required to attend those, but I know he does. And I know this last month with basketball games and stuff, it was a hectic week for him to make all those, but it's just kind of nice to meet with those parents, kind of get an idea what's going on in our buildings, what the community is saying, and communicating back and forth with those families, especially during this pandemic time, and getting their thoughts of what we could be doing better. So things are going great, but have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Lindborg. And Mr. Sprang, are you back there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you might need to just speak loud.
Speak loud. Okay. All right. Well, March has been a very busy month at Highland for a lot of really positive reasons. I'm going to just start with where we left off with our performances there. March is Music in Our Schools Month, and we'd just like to recognize the band students. Yesterday, they participated in an event where they performed in front of an OMEA adjudicator, where they got feedback on their specific performances. So it was a great opportunity for them to get some feedback from somebody different other than Mrs. Penfound. And then also, as Mr. Looney had shared, our choral groups will be performing tonight at Walnut Creek Mennonite. It'll be a great time to feature all the work that they've done. Also would like to recognize our girls basketball team. On Saturday, they defeated Ottawa Glandorf to win the Division III state championship, and just like to recognize those kids for all their work, energy, and effort. And it was great to see it all pay off, especially with how last year ended. And then also on Saturday, it was Coach Dave Slayball's last game coaching here at Highland. And I just want to publicly recognize Dave for all of the time, energy, and effort he has put into our kids, to our school, and to our community. He is someone who has gone above and beyond to meet the needs of our kids and give them opportunities. We're going to miss him, and we just want to genuinely appreciate all that he did. On Friday night, our boys basketball team was defeated in the regional finals. I want to recognize the boys as well as Coach Mark Slayball for their season. They made a great tournament run, and we all enjoyed seeing their game. Finally, we had an exciting announcement on Friday as well that prom will be moving forward. I would like to invite any junior and senior parent that would like to help in planning prom to attend a meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. in the Highland Auditorium. We want to try and pull everybody together to make this a good experience for our kids, and we're going to need as many answers as we can get given the short time frame with prom being on Saturday, April 17th. If anybody has any questions about that, just feel free to email me or call the office. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mr. Sprang. Yeah, lots of, throughout the district, just lots of positive things happening as we head kind of down the home stretch here to the fourth quarter that we start after spring break. So I too want to just congratulate the girls basketball team from the weekend and their achievements, and it was just a really special weekend for everybody involved. So that wraps up our building supervisor reports.
Amanda.
All right, not too many items here for your approval this month. In your packet, you had your February financial reports. I do have one then and now. This was a bit of a timing issue with the mail, receiving it and then it being due a day later. So we know how that's going right now. And then I would ask for the board to accept the following donations from Paul Miller. just a couple donations to Berlin Elementary and Walnut Creek. And we would like to thank Paul for just his continued support of all of our students across the district and our teachers as well.
Any questions, discussion? Just need a motion, please.
Make a motion to approve. Second that.
Mr. Steve Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Gertz.
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller,
Yes.
Mullet,
Yes.
Mrs. Klink.
Yes. You wanna talk about this?
Yes, yep. Just our new business there. Over the last month, spent some time in negotiations and happy to, ready to approve our new negotiated agreement with the Teachers Association for 3 years. It includes those raises there for all staff as well there in item number 2. And from the boards, Steve Miller and Kyle Miller were the board reps on that negotiating committee. And Steve, I don't know if you have any comments there at all.
Yeah, I'd like to just thank the association and the negotiating team. We spent most of the day having a lot of good conversation, talking about a lot of topics, and I thought everyone came in good faith, and I think it's a positive thing for the next 3 years. You know, our goal as a board is certainly to be the absolutely best district that we can, and to do that, we need the best people, and this is one of the processes to get there. So I would like to thank the association and the negotiation.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
all
you.
the staff. For
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. So we just need a motion to approve number 1 and number 2.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Amanda, go ahead.
Mr. Mullet,
Yes.
Mr. Gertz,
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Steve Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Klink.
Ellison. All right. Good.
Under new business, ask that you take 1 through 7 there. All fairly routine things. Number 3 there, draw your attention to for the last, I think, 2 years or 3 years now. The Department of Ed gives all schools the option to give the 3rd grade English and math test on paper. And we think that's a good decision for our best environment for our students to do well on that test. Summer school there, one change there is just increasing the hourly wage to $30 per hour for teachers who are working during summer school. Our annual agreement with to participate in the OHSAA. Number 6 is a new contract for a hearing impaired interpreter service through the end of for the rest of the school year, and then approval of the administrative handbook.
Any questions or discussion? If not, just need a motion to approve numbers 1 through 7.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Amanda?
Mr. Gertz,
Yes.
Mr. Mullet,
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Steve Miller,
Yes.
and Mrs. Klink.
Yes.
Okay, personnel items 1 through 4 there. Number 1, we have a couple retirement resignations there. Jerry Slayball, who has been our run the library at Mount Hope for a long time, and also has taught German up there. So we're really going to miss Jerry and his unique ability to connect with students. You know, and that goes beyond the classroom. You know, he for years has organized outside of school small singing groups to go to the hospitals and other places to sing, and then also you know, Jerry loves basketball as well, and so he often will organize opportunities for some of those junior high boys and girls to play at the Reese Center in the evening. So I just appreciate Jerry. And then also Marcia Swiger, who is a language arts and social studies junior high teacher down at Wise, and has been with us for some time as well. So thank you to both of them. Number two, just a movement on the certified salary schedule for Kate Cleaver to masters, approval of our substitute bus driver list, and then 4 supplemental positions for the school year.
Any questions, discussion? If not, just need a motion to approve numbers 1 through 4.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Mr. Mullet?
Yes.
Mr. Gertz?
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Steve Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Clank?
Yes. And then I just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. Second.
And
Mr. Steve Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mullet?
Yes.
Mr. Gertz?
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Clank?
yes.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Have a good
Thank
last
you.
9 weeks. Getting started. We're just ready to go into our last night.